got to a point with me, I often wondered, like I've never shot a deer, I've never shot anything in my life. I never hunted, I'm just not that type of guy. But there's no doubt in my mind that I think I would have killed to win.
There can often seem in Canada a shortage of world-class events. Wars, major catastrophes, the kind of moments that makes time stand still. It gives us reason to notice where we were and what we were doing when they happened. Many Canadians do know where they were when John Kennedy was assassinated. I was in Mr. Ralph's grade 12 chemistry class at Etobicoke Collegiate, and when Neil Armstrong first set foot on the moon. But only one Canadian event has left a similar trail of memory. Paul Henderson's goal with 34 seconds to go that won the Canada-Russia series.
It's incredible. I still talk about that goal probably 300 days a year. Every Canadian that I meet for the first time will invariably tell me exactly where they were, what they were doing, and I continue to get stories all the time.
This is Luzhniki Arena. Today they are preparing for a rock concert. 17 years ago, I was here, less than 200 feet away. The score was 5-5. It was the most exciting moment of my hockey life. The Red Army Club, home to the world's most successful hockey team. Here, as in factories and offices all over the Soviet Union, a fundamental struggle is being waged over power, over history, most of all over the rights and place of the individual. The struggle, for the most part, isn't visible. It's a sound. Words stored up for a lifetime are suddenly rushing out. Words that care less of the glories of space or sport or military adventure. Words that want to know, what about me? This is Sasha Harlamov. In 1972, his father, Valery, played in the Canada-Soviet series. Valery and his generation gave over most of their lives for their country's glory. Not seeing fruits of that sacrifice, the new generation wonders why. Like Sasha Harlamov, they want a better life. Only a wall away, wearing the black sweater of the outcast, Major Vyacheslav Fetisov skates through his final Red Army practice. He doesn't know it yet, but later this afternoon, after a meeting with Coach Victor Tikhonov, he'll be released from the team. In 2 weeks, he'll be out of the Army. It's what he wants. Fetisov wants control over his life, but Tikhonov will not yield. Iron-spined adversaries, they are symbols of this monumental struggle.
Я думаю, что, в общем, это неправильно. И то, что он может оскорбить человека просто за то, что он ошибся в игре. А игра это выигрывает в игре тот, кто меньше ошибается, наверное, это закон. Ни для кого не секрет. Так он, представляешь, что сколько он грязи, брани за одну игру выливает на игроков, не говоря уже потом о разборах. В общем, постоянная система унизить человека, оскорбить, поставить его в зависимость от себя и потом им крутить, как он захочет. Это, в общем, система, которая была в стране у нас при Сталине. И, в общем, она у нас где-то сейчас в команде она практикует.
Tikhonov's job is to win every game, every championship, every tournament, every year.
Значит, тренер должен находить какие-то новые условия. Я вот имею мотивацию, чтобы добраться до души, добраться сюда, чтобы снова поставить перед ними какую-то новую задачу.
Так, первым до конца, защитник на ускорение.
Tikhonov is the system itself, distant, cold, all-powerful. He monopolizes all favors. He has the tools to manipulate and the deeply ingrained instincts never to give them up.
Тихонов, он не понимает нас, игроков. Он работает с нами теми же методами, что и 10-12 лет назад. Он также со мной обращается, как будто мне было 20 лет. И Ларионову 20, и Макарову 20. Он не видит нас людей, он не видит нас личностей. Ему это, в общем, не знаю, ему претит, может, он не хотел видеть личности ни в Третьяке, не хотел видеть личности ни в Петрове, ни в Харламове, ни в нашей пятерке, которая много лет, в общем, делала результат, так прямо скажем. В общем, это его злит. Он считает, что Тихонов — это весь советский хоккей. Он подменяет, он старается подменить собой весь советский хоккей.
He motivates by fear. He controls his players' lives. Tikhonov sees human weakness. He's blind to human strength. He believes no one should be left to their own devices. The workers can't be trusted.
Пойдет первая часть так. Против 1-3. Ну, мы опять видим.
Все вопросы, касающиеся, все социальные вопросы, касающиеся семьи, большей частью идет через главного тренера решение всех вопросов игроков.
Я играю 13-й год в команде ЦСКА, и все ни разу не проиграли чемпионскую титул.
That's incredible. Incredible, but disastrous for Soviet hockey. Tikhonov has won 12 straight championships by stripping the other teams of their best players. Soviet players can play where they want. Most want to live in Moscow. They want cars, money, travel, and Tikhonov can offer it all. With the best players, he's won world championships, world attention. But as usual, it's those at home who pay the price.
И народу нужной стране, и так же, как и канадскому, в общем, престижно выиграть чемпионат мира. Вот. Но при этом, при всем, забылись внутренние дела у нас в стране. Хоккеисты должны играть для своего, так сказать, народа, для своего зрителя, уже потом играть на, так сказать, на других площадках, в других странах.
Tonight, the Red Army is set to clinch its 13th straight national championship. The crowd is one of the largest this season, though fewer than 8,000. Many fans have lost interest. Soviet hockey is stagnating. I've never been in so quiet a dressing room. Few words are exchanged between Tikhonov and his players, amongst the players themselves. Tonight, the opposing team is Kimik from Voskresensk, a town south of Moscow. Red Army recruits the best talent. As a result, players and coaches on other teams don't develop. With no competition, Army players don't improve. With no competition, fans stay away. This, more than all the national and world championships, is Tikhonov's legacy. He might be Canadian, American, West European. His haircut, his Mercedes, his ABC Calgary Olympics jacket. 5 years ago, his look would have seemed disloyal. But Fetisov is the contemporary Soviet.
Все проблемы у нас, в общем, в том, что, в общем, Тихонов, как говорится, продукт того поколения, которое сейчас осуждается. В общем, сейчас тяжело с нами работать, с молодыми. В общем, мы не понимаем друг друга, поэтому, наверное, все проблемы у нас возникают.
Когда у ворот идет борьба, у ворот, ты мячом пролетаешь,
Nikolai Epstein, former Kimmich coach. Vladimir Korolov, deputy head of hockey. Igor Cooperman, journalist and fan. Tikhonov's critics are everywhere, and now they can speak out. Glasnost, the Soviet policy of openness, has made Tikhonov a victim. In the Soviet Union, players' benches are set back from the boards.
Да после этого ты почему ты не берешь защитника, блядь? Твою мать, блядь. Володь, что же ты там борешься? Ну ты мне объясни, как ты там борешься, если из-под тебя я побил такого здорового забивает за это такой. Фронтально, блядь, метр с кеткой, блядь. Ну это же просто удивительно.
Tikhonov confronts his players nose to nose, officer to grunt. This is the Army soldier.
А судьбы спортсменов, судьбы людей, в общем, ни того и ни руководство, в общем, не интересует таковых. У нас спортсмен заканчивает, о нем уже забывают сразу на следующий день. В общем, это самая, так сказать, страшная пора, когда ты уже в сознании, ты знаешь, что ты сейчас нужен, а завтра нет. Это очень тяжело. Это тоже, в общем, продукт. Не продукт, то есть это все выходит из этой системы вообще, что ты отработал, как робот, отработанный механизм, уходишь, и ты уже не нужен никому, а тебе всего 30, чуть больше 30. Это катастрофа, приводит людей, в общем, действительно к краху, как-то жизненному.
Not too many years ago, it seemed, Canadians and Soviets lived on two different planets. 1972. It would be Canada's coming out party.
It happens every Friday night. The whole town crams into that arena like one big happy family. Every one of us cheering on the kids and trying to keep warm. And you know something? Win or lose, we all go home with a really good feeling inside. I wouldn't miss these nights for anything.
For generations, the game of hockey has brought our communities a little closer together. That's why at ESSO, we think our involvement in this great sport is important.
Gillette announces a razor that can sense the individual needs of your face. Introducing the extraordinary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and adjust to your face for the best shave a man can get. Closer, smoother, safer. New Gillette Sensor.
A car has to be serviced properly. It has to be maintained properly. And at Goodyear, we do that.
Mark Haynes is a tune-up specialist for Goodyear.
We do engine diagnosis. We do fuel injection. We do electronics diagnosis. We do tune-ups. We do brakes. We do suspension work. We don't just do tires anymore.
The Goodyear Diagnostic Tune-Up. Signed, sealed, and certified by Goodyear.
We know what we're doing. we get the job done, and we stand behind it. That's what Goodyear Certified Auto Service means.
Ford Ranger, now available with a 160 horsepower engine. It's the most powerful Ranger ever. And only Ford gives you four-wheel drive at the touch of a button, which makes Ranger something even better, a street machine that isn't confined to the street. Ford Ranger, the best-selling compact truck in Canada, is #1 for all the right reasons. Now get 9.9% financing.
The year was 1972.
Через полчаса наши ребята выйдут на лед против лучших игроков канадского профессионального хоккея. Я режиссер этого фильма. Мы их снимали, и я удивлялся. Неужели они совсем не волнуются перед игрой?
The Soviets had beaten us year after year, our NHL professionals ineligible to play. Now we could use them. We knew we were the best, but more important, the world had to know. There is much that is special about Canada, but surrounded by countries richer, older, more powerful, we cling to every symbol. We had to win this series. It's hard to believe memories of that time. No hockey series, nothing could have meant that much. In 1972, to Canada, it did. You were a very young boy. At the time, Igor Cooperman was 15 years old. All that he knew about Canada was hockey.
About the hockey in Canada, especially about the professionals. But it is all that I knew about Canada, that there is a 6th team in NHL.
Like a lot of young boys, I'm sure, in the Soviet Union as well as Canada, you watched that series fairly closely.
Yes.
And remember some of the Canadian players?
I remember all them in faces, in numbers, in wings, in position, all of them.
Number 28.
Bobby Clark.
33.
Gilbert Perrault.
37.
Jocelyn Jovermont. Jovermont, yes? Yeah, yes, it's she. Yes. Who?
Number 5.
Brett Park.
My heavens, you were watching.
Number 29. Not interested.
17 years later, we talk about that time. Phil Esposito, Sir Savard, Paul Henderson. You can just think about, I guess, international hockey, what you knew at that time. What did you know about the Soviets?
I remember saying, my brother told me, saying, why are we going? What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Who are we playing? And I says, I don't know, we're playing the Russians. How good can they be? I mean, they've won world championships and they've won Olympics, but they never played against the pros.
Moscow, 1946. The first hockey game ever played in the Soviet Union. They learned skating and puck handling from a game called bandy, like field hockey on ice. They were so far behind us, we thought they could never catch up. While we summered on golf courses, they trained. More hours a day, more months a year. How good could they be? We never cared to find out. What happened in that series? A lot of people did strange things in that series. I mean, Rod Gilbert was fighting.
Now then, Gilbert swings at him.
Jean-Paul Parisi was threatening referees.
Parisi is totally incensed.
I mean, what happened? Why did all of those things happen?
To me, it was war. You know, I told Kenny this privately, and I've said it to a few people, but I've never really said it publicly. But it got to a point with me, I often wondered, like, I've never shot a deer, I've never shot anything in my life. I never hunted, I'm just not that type of guy. But there's no doubt in my mind that I think I would have killed Lynn. And that scares me. that really scares me sometimes. When I think about it, I mean, right now I think about it, I sort of get a little goosebumps, because I think I would have killed him to win. I would have done anything to win, absolutely anything. So I think in a war, maybe that's what happens. And it was our society against their society.
And Phil Esposito is going to get a penalty as a result.
It got to be such an emotional thing to me, and I told my wife I will never, ever let myself get that emotionally involved in something again.
The opening, as they dropped the ceremonial puck, and if you look at the tapes, I had to win that draw. I mean, I had to win that draw. And this guy didn't even try, and that really aggravated me. I wanted to spear him or something. Try, you know? And when I remember I brought it back and I put my hand up like, wow, we won the first face-off. I mean, it was really weird.
Can't recall any game that I've ever been at where you can just feel the tension and it keeps building up, and it's very warm in the forum tonight. And at the same time, the fans are really on their toes. They hardly can wait to see the beginning of this game.
There's the official face-off.
Dryden is in goal for Canada.
When I think back to that first game, I guess I don't think I've ever felt so vulnerable and inept. I mean, everything was going too fast for me. I couldn't catch up. All of the expectations that I had were going the other way. Every time I knew somebody was going to shoot, didn't shoot. And every time I knew that they were going to shoot someplace, they'd shoot someplace else. They'd hold on to the puck a little bit longer. I felt so helpless in the course of that game, and as you've said earlier, about feeling the agony of losing while the game is going on.
Because they didn't give us anything that we were told. I mean, we were told that Tretiak couldn't stop anything. We were told that, well, yeah, they can skate, but they're not that great as skaters. Yeah, they can shoot, but they can't shoot that hard. Well, somebody should have told Donnie Ari and Rod Seeley. They were going like crazy, and I remember saying to Wayne Cashman, we've got a heavy-duty problem.
But we thought it was going to, I really thought it was going to be a vacation. I mean, we thought we were just going to have a great time. I was going to get to play with Esposito and Cornway and Mahavich and Dryden.
Like
and
an
White.
all-star game.
Sure, it was going to be such a great time. We were going to go there. And then all of a sudden, the good time was you looked ahead and you got 8, and you knew it was a grinder.
It's like that cartoon. Very prim and proper guy until he gets behind the wheel of a car and he turns into a maniac. I mean, that's when I started to become a real maniac.
They exposed us so utterly. Playing a different way, they made us see our game for the first time.
By the Soviets is unbelievable. They're disciplined, totally disciplined athletes.
We didn't like what we saw. Rough and unsophisticated, a style of play with little system or science. Players not quite in shape, a little too prosperous, whose team play was unambitious, who under stress became undisciplined, who by instinct went it alone.
And the USSR have defeated Canada in the first game of an 8-game series by a score of 7-3.
We saw us, and at the end of the game, Canadian fans booed us and cheered them.
Oh, I'm a little disappointed in the Canadians. In what way? The fact that they're not doing a lot of skating. They should be doing a little more back-checking.
The passing of the Russian players, they seem to kick the puck up and put it on their stick right away, and it's amazing how accurate they are with their passing.
What have you noticed particularly about the series?
Well, the Russians are a lot better than I expected them to be, and I think that the Team Canada should start practicing a whole long time before.
Rebuilding, winning in Toronto, tying in Winnipeg, disaster in Vancouver, and leaving Canada down 2-1 with 1 game tied. Now, at the end of the game, Phil, you were interviewed, and you said a few things.
For the people that boo us, geez, all of us guys are really disheartened, and we're disillusioned, and we're disappointed in some of the people. We cannot believe the bad press we've got, the booing we've gotten in our own buildings. And if the Russians boo their players, if the Russians boo their players like some of the Canadian fans, I'm not saying all of them, some of them booed us, then I'll come back and I'll apologize to each one of the Canadians, but I don't think they will. I'm really disappointed. I am completely disappointed. I cannot believe it. We came because we love Canada. And even though we play in the United States and we earn money in the United States, Canada is still our home, and that's the only reason we come. And I don't think it's fair that we should be booed.
I was booed in this building. Larry Robinson was booed. I don't remember Kenny, but most of the big names. But Rocket Richard was booed in this building. So I think it was just the fact that the fans were so disappointed, and they did let us know, and it probably hurt more than usual. But you know what, Serge? You're right. You're right. You've been booed, I've been booed, we've all been booed. It was our country against their country. Do you understand? To me, that's different. That's absolutely, totally different. That, to me, was different. They had no business booing us. They want to show their displeasure, they show their displeasure. The press did enough for everybody, showing their displeasure on us. But the one thing that they didn't realize was us. We didn't like it either. You think we wanted to lose? Did the people think we went out there to just let it happen? That we were going to lose? That we wanted to lose these games in Canada? Gee, we didn't want to lose those games. We wanted to win every stinking game. We wanted to make the dream come true that it was going to be 8 in a row and send these guys packing back and let them stay in their communistic country and whatever it is.
It only measures 4 by 6 feet. A steel frame with an N on the back. And a couple of coats of red paint. How is it that something so simple could get me to push myself like never before?
The game of hockey has let so many of us experience the thrill of winning. Another reason why at Esso, we think our involvement in this great sport is important.
Glad tie and toss household garbage bags are so easy to use, you almost don't have to be there. See how easy they are to close? See how easy they fit? And how easy they are to carry? Because they're from Glad, you know they're strong. Take the easy way out with Glad.
While some people cling to the comfort of their beds, others prefer to wake up with the sun. They're called morning people. Quaker Harvest Crunch pays tribute to all the morning people with a delicious blend of toasted oats, wheat, plump raisins, coconut, dates, crunchy almonds, and honey for a wake-up taste that says good morning to morning people.
The 4-door Cavalier and Sunbird, equipped with air and automatic transmission, use less gas than a similarly equipped Ford Tempo. How much less? Here's a hint. Right now, GM and Ford are offering 9.9% financing on these cars. But if you're looking for a 3-year rate, or even better, a 4-year rate, it's a slightly different picture. GM's 9.9 lasts for 4 years, but this offer won't.
3,000 Canadians made the pilgrimage to Moscow, following their boys on the road, there when they were needed the most. Canadians knew little of the world in 1972. As players, officials, fans, we were inexperienced, uncomfortable in anything but our own backyard. And here we were in Moscow. In every hotel room is too long. But in 1972, with a team most of whom had never been outside North America, it was far worse. Narrow beds, big pillows, the blankets that don't tuck in, the phone that rings when it shouldn't, the television whose words you don't understand, and the walls you can almost touch. And up in the ceiling, what's that? And the wire, where does that go? Just little things that as the tension of the series screwed tighter, became almost too much.
I'm convinced, I don't know about you guys, we ate horse meat. I'm convinced of that. I mean, I kept going, no, but I'm convinced we ate horse meat at the end. Wasn't there some, the girls ate blackbird or something, or crow? No. There was, I don't know.
No, it was the eggs that were green. I mean, my wife, they were served eggs one morning, and I can remember this because I went over to see it. The bottom of no butter in the pan, just the bottom of the egg was absolutely black, and the top, they were rotten, it was just green. God. And they had served that to them.
This is Miss Olga Baranova, and Miss Baranova is going through the traditional Russian gesture of hospitality to guests of the Soviet Union. A presentation of a loaf of bread with salt on top, followed by a presentation of flowers as a traditional emblem of hospitality of the Soviet Union.
Phil has slipped on a flower. The game begins. Then we went off, had a big lead, and lost it all in the third period. So the game is over, down 3-1, 1 game tied, 3 more games in Moscow. What were you feeling at that moment?
I never thought we'd lose another game. And that's not sitting here and saying it in retrospect. I mean, I remember saying it. I remember telling my brother, who was the goalie then, he was upset, like he didn't want to hear that. I said, we're never going to lose another game. We're going to beat these guys. We're not going to lose another game.
Also think that way, but I think at that time, after we lost the first game, the confidence changed sides. They were overconfident. They were sure of beating us at that time. They were sure to win the series at that point, and we were scared like hell.
Dryden is going back into the net.
Game 6, second period, we had a lead. The Canadian fans had been angry at us, had admired the Soviets. Then we took penalties, one after another. 29 minutes, the Soviets took 4. The game, the series, that fundamental something hockey meant to Canadians was being taken away. 2 men down, backed into our final corner, players and fans together. We fought back.
Mikhailov, 13 in the corner. He's coming out in front of Lechenko. Here's a shot. And the drive is high. Bounced off the screen. Cleared back to the blue line to Lechenko. Out to the far side. Back to Lechenko. The shot. And Dryden cleared that one off to the wing. The goalkeeper lost his stick. He finally got it.
We won Game 6. From now on, it was us versus them.
You know, it really was sort of a remarkable effort when you consider we were in the penalty box for quite a bit of the game. And as you mentioned with the Russian power play, you know, you often don't get away with it. But everybody worked extremely hard, and the result was okay.
Watching the crowd and listening to the crowd at that point, the 3,000 Canadians that traveled over to Moscow, it was like suddenly then they really could be heard, as if there was this sense of desperation and that everybody was in on it together for one last crack.
I remember hearing them. I remember hearing them. And what was it? Da Canada, Net Soviet.
If you remember, Phil, I think we had one telegram was 20,000 names on the telegram.
That's right. And, we knew we had
I felt that we had the population behind us like ever before. And I don't know if that's what you ask, and I don't think we'll see that anymore. I don't think you could get the country together behind one team like that.
Well, they never play beyond the time. It's if you're tied, you're tied. And so.
Yeah, that's what they just said.
On 4 afternoons, Canada stopped and watched live from Moscow. For Game 8, a Thursday afternoon, 7.5 million people. 5 million watched the replay at night. Never before, never since, never again. About the day after the 7th game and the day before Game 8, knowing that one last game would decide this whole series?
Well, I don't know. I was such a high from the 7th game. I'd scored a goal with about 2.5 minutes left, where I'd beaten 2 defensemen and they'd beaten Tretiak. I'd never even done that in practice before. To make the last, it was the greatest goal I've ever scored in my life, and I was such a high from scoring that goal to make the 8th game. I was just on 7th heaven.
At the end of the 2nd period in the 8th game, it's 5-3. What happened between the end of the 2nd period and the beginning of the 3rd period?
I can remember Harry saying that, listen, we need to get one early. We don't open it up, but if we get one early, then we're going to be okay. And that's exactly what happened. I can tell you the play. I can see it like it was yesterday.
We scored 5-4, and then I remember a face-off to the left of Kenny, and I says, because Cornway was playing with me, and I think Brad Park.
Yeah, Brad Park made the pass.
I said, Brad, I'm going to win this so-so draw. I said, Yvonne, just blast up that wing, and it didn't happen. I won the draw, and they intercepted, but then somehow or other, I got the pass from Brad up about the red line. And I was cutting in, and I took the shot. The puck went behind the net, and there was a rebound, and Cornway put it in.
By Cornway.
I remember that one, but Paul's goal. I remember the guys yelling on the bench at me. Phil! There wasn't any way in the world that I was going off. None.
Cornway has it on that wing. Here's a shot. Henderson made a wild stab towards the bell. Here's another shot.
I mean, that's the closest I ever came to really loving another guy. I mean, I love this guy. I mean, I literally loved him. I mean, I loved him. I think if I had had $1 million, I would have given it to him right there.
Well, you got it today. You didn't have it then.
I don't love you that much anymore.
Do you ever think back on the series and just shake your head and at something so improbable? I mean, it went absolutely the way it shouldn't have gone. Right from the first game of the series, right down to the last 34 seconds. I mean, did you ever have a feeling that there's some kind of a
a sense of destiny that's involved in all of that?
I've seen guys winning Stanley Cup, and I'm one myself, and I always state that that 72 series is the thing that I will remember the most. And I think it's the same thing for everybody.
You know, and I guess we get farther away from it. You just, I mean, it's got to die, but I mean, it's not going to die. I mean, it's just, it's indelibly written in Canadians' hearts. And the thing about it, they felt a part of it. You know, like we, they always say we. They don't say you did this. Well, we as Canadians did it.
Here I listened to a knowledgeable voice encouraging me from behind. And it was here I sat a little longer than I wanted to when I didn't follow through. It was here I jumped up wildly to bang my stick on the boards when everything went right. And I stared down at my skates when things went wrong.
The game of hockey is one of our best schools for learning discipline, responsibility, and hard work. That's why at ESSO, we think our involvement in this great sport is important.
The look of linen is captured in a bold colored story all about women's belted casuals. It's a flash of brilliance and more than just good looks. From Sears, where you get your money's worth and more.
It's out there, the sinus gold. Once it breaks in, you feel like it's locked itself inside your sinuses. You sneeze without loosening it, blow your nose without draining it. You feel pain and pressure in your sinus cavities. So try Dryden tablets. Dryden's special penetrating action reaches all 8 sinus cavities to help clear the misery of your sinus cold. Dryden tablets for the cold misery that's locked in your sinuses.
Push that clutch, shift that gear, release that clutch, grab that stick.
Stop! Let Mazda free you from the clutches of manual labor. Free automatic transmission on 626, MX6, Protege, 323 hatchback, and all Mazda trucks. Free automatic transmission or equivalent value credit, plus the best warranty in the business.
It just feels right.
Sears Men's Wardrobe Sale has everything a man needs now, from our own Boulevard Club fashions to a super selection of Arnold Palmer shirts, sweaters, and pants at 25% off. At Sears, where you get your money's worth and more.
We had won, but it seemed we could never win again. The Soviets had come so far, so fast, they would become unbeatable. Canadians assumed that if we're ahead, someone is gaining. Now, even in hockey, destiny had caught up. But 17 years later, things aren't what we thought they'd be. In the winter of 1989, the Red Army team, the pride of Soviet hockey, is in open rebellion against their coach. Fetisov is gone, Larionov is next, others are about to follow. These barracks at Arkhangelskoye, near Moscow, are the symbol. 6 days a week, 10 months a year, away from their families. Vladimir Krutov, Igor Larionov and their teammates live here. Tikhonov and his generation believe that this is what it takes to win.
Gets to you after 8 years. Is it the boredom?
Сейчас есть такие, потом будут, что я практик, я знаю, я много работал, меня не убедишь.
There were guys like you before.
Твое мнение меня не интересует.
Guys like you before who were saying the same thing. There will be after, there are now. And that doesn't interest me. It doesn't change anything.
Players see Canadians who play just as well, who live different lives, and ask why. They're fed up. What about me, they ask. They want perestroika in hockey. His wife, Elena.
Вот, поэтому все трудности, которые у нас
есть они будут только после окончания хоккейной карьеры. И не все, значит, спортсмены, не все хоккеисты могут их преодолеть. Потому что за долгие годы человек привыкает, что за него все делают. Именно та система, которая у нас введена в хоккее, именно система сборов, тренировочных лагерей, человек расслабляется, то есть попадает в определенный режим, в течение которого, в течение 10 лет он просто забывает определенные житейские навыки, необходимые для жизни, для реальной жизни.
Еще такая интересная деталь. Вот бывает отпуск у них один раз, значит, в году, там 20, сколько, месяц, да, 30 дней. И вот когда они приходят домой, то настолько трудно перестроиться, поскольку мы уже привыкли, у нас вот определенная своя какая-то жизнь без мужа. Я знаю, что я утром встаю, я делаю то-то, 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 то-то. У меня какие-то свои уже дела. И когда он приходит, то первые там 5 дней становится просто как-то даже странно, что нужно как-то еще его подключать тоже сюда, как будто этого человека вообще не существовало раньше. И потом уже, когда вот наконец-то ты к этому привыкаешь, в этот момент его опять забирают, как раз начинается опять сезон, и вот тут становится невыносимо тяжело, тут плачешь, потому что думаешь, настолько привык к нему. В общем, ужасно.
Nikolai Epstein, open and vocal critic of the system, was once Larionov's coach in Voskria Sense. Larionov and others were taken from him to feed Red Army's appetite. Here in Voskria Sense, an industrial town 90 kilometers south of Moscow, the problems of the Soviet system are in evidence.
Это трагедия, я думаю. Вот я наблюдаю за канадским хоккеем.
It is a tragedy, says Epstein, rating all of the teams for their best players just to strengthen the Red Army. What about my team? What about the people of Voskria Sensk? Why must we pay such a price?
Это были ведущие игроки.
Another problem. Most Soviet kids play hockey outdoors. Warmer winters mean shorter hockey seasons, and Voskria Sensk has only one indoor rink.
And my favorite picture is on the wall is the same, two pictures.
Thousands of miles away, evidence of Canada. The ultimate game, Voskria Sensk versus Team Canada 1972. The Soviets are just beginning to learn. Players need fans. Hockey is entertainment, requiring promotion, spectacle, and money. That a healthy domestic game makes for a healthy international game. Once the Soviets just worked harder. Now they need resources, and the Soviet Union is not a rich country.
Более глубоко. Почему?
Vladimir Korolov, deputy head of Soviet hockey.
Пока инвентаря. Инвентаря спортивных форм. У нас очень мало катков. Я хочу сказать, что если у нас одинаковое количество занимающихся, там, 650 тысяч, то в Канаде 9 тысяч катков, у нас 116. Под пропорцией.
If I go to Luzhniki to watch CSKA play against Dynamo or Spartak, the arena is full. Against Leningradska or Traktor, there are only a few thousand people there. What's the problem?
У нас, по сути дела, очень слабо поставлена пропаганда. Я имею в виду информация о матчах. У нас прошел вот 3-4 года назад очень такой большой, ну, его нельзя назвать, но такой период, когда шла такая борьба с хулиганскими элементами, с нарушениями общественного порядка. То есть, по сути дела, запрещалось кричать, подниматься, там, вскакивать, переживать и прочее. Потому что надо было сидеть, как в опере, молча, так сказать, сопереживать проходящим. Это тоже вызвало обратную реакцию зрителя. Он не стал ходить на стадион. Зачем ему сидеть, как мумия?
What I don't understand is in hockey you have 4 or 5 very good teams, 9 or 10 weak teams. In basketball, 2 good teams, many weak teams. But isn't it that drive for competition between teams that really creates the drama and the interest in sport?
Это не наше достояние, это не наш успех, это наше несчастье, в принципе, свое. Потому что у нас просто не хватает высококлассных игроков. Если учитывать, что вот как сегодня зима, теплая зима, то, конечно, занятий нормальных нет для детей. Они в этом году, по сути дела, не стояли на льду.
The Soviet Union is changing. Things here were always definite. Traditions, expectations immutable. Some things right, the rest always wrong. Now, Coke machines, one-armed bandits, Soviet players in the NHL. Images that clash and challenge what's right, what's possible. Noisy fans, banners, an organ. Advertising on boards, on jerseys too. Universal chants and cheers. Even money. And now that money is allowed to matter, Vladimir Kokurin makes sports deals.
When I look around the arenas, I see the board advertising. I know that it's not exactly new, but it's fairly recent. Watching the Spartak team play the other night, and on their sweaters, Giza, the Italian agricultural company. A year or so ago, this would have been an unimaginable conversation. Where will it all go?
Is somebody in the world thinking that the two countries, like Soviet Union and United States, will agree very fast to reduce the armaments and completely to change the attitude toward each other? See, it's all the consequences of the new policy in the Soviet Union. And putting me such a questions, you were worried about something. Where do it go? What are you worried about? Where can it go? First, it's our normal human relations and normal business relations.
Are you saying then that if McDonald's came to you and said, we want to put the golden arches on the sweaters of the Red Army, because they're a very popular team, they travel all around the world, and we want to make that commercial connection, that's possible?
Why not?
I don't know. There's like a feeling I got deep in my stomach before every single game. The butterflies. Everyone else had it too. You could tell.
Okay. Let's go.
I'll never forget that feeling. Ever.
The game of hockey has taught many of us the meaning of team spirit. Another reason why at Esso, we think our involvement in this great sport is important.
Old friends aren't always old, but they're always friends. They simply have a way of hanging in that's awfully handy when the going gets a little rough. And great fun when the sailing's smooth. You can rely on old friends. They're good for life.
Old friends. That's what AGT Long Distance is for.
The 1990 Acura Integra sedan. An automobile that can make getting there considerably more than half the fun.
Is Italian okay? Sure, but none of that diet stuff. Yeah, I know what you mean. I watch what I eat, but it's gotta taste good. If it doesn't, who needs it? I know what you mean. No, this dressing's excellent. Diet stuff always tastes like something's missing.
With calorie-wise, you'll never know.
Since 1972, Canadians and Soviets have gone through good times and bad, and though we would never have believed it then, we've reached a kind of competitive equilibrium. They can't bury us, we can't bury them.
Thank you very much.
Hockey and world affairs are played in a competitive pack. Maybe size and power aren't destiny after all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's in Russian, yes? Number 29. It is the largest present which I dream all my life.
In 1972, Canadians entered the world and were forever changed by it. Now it's the Soviets' turn. And if nothing here is now unimaginable, what is possible is another story. Their struggle and ours goes on. There are no final victories.
Very much. Thank you. One more time.
A union is organized, and Jacques, sympathetic to the workers' plight, resists suggestions to move operations south. But can he find the middle ground between union and management? Mills of Power, Chapter 4, next.